morning.
How are you, Mr. St. Clair?
Doing good. Mr. Todd?
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
Yes, sir. Sorry for your loss.
Thank you very
Very
much.
sorry for you. This is Robin Phillips.
Yes, ma'am.
In our office, and you know Travis. We asked Travis to
I do.
get here.
I just want to know, I do not want to record anybody, but I would like to record what I say.
Well, we're going to
Is that
record.
okay?
We're going to record the meeting too.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I just don't want to do unless it's okay.
Yeah, no, we're recording the meeting too.
Just not for what you think. Please don't think
Right.
that. Just so
we
you know what I said.
We want to record it too, same way, so he can have a record because he's doing
Thank
the
you.
investigation.
Okay,
So,
I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also so we can't
Yes, ma'am.
know
Yes, ma'am. Please.
who we might need to talk to in addition to.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
How are you, buddy? You okay? Good to see you.
Thank
Oh, no problem, buddy.
And we tried to get all the players at the table, so Jimmy and Christy are here.
I was hoping, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, so we're trying to get everybody here that we think that might need. So, I don't know if you know Rudy. Rudy's SRO at the high school.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
How you doing? I've never met you, I don't think.
I haven't. My condolences.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, I'm Mr. Walker. Hey,
Miss Walker, yes, sir.
That's me,
I don't
sir.
think I've met you either.
No.
My daughter's talked about you, though, and
Well,
said
she
you were
was
very
good when I
kind to
was
her.
telling you.
We may have met.
I think I know you.
I think I know.
You have a wonderful son. Wonderful son.
Thank you.
Where would you guys
Yeah,
like me to
right
be?
here's fine. And anywhere you want to sit.
I mean, I didn't. I wanted to record this, and I don't want anybody to not want to be recorded.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? But I'm not. I didn't come to answer any questions. I just came to give you guys a statement.
Absolutely.
I need you guys to know my intentions and what's going on.
Sure.
You know, that's all I wanted to do for y'all, and for us as well, because everything has changed. Everything is blown out of proportion now, and I'm sorry. I've really been building myself up for like 6 hours now to not be emotional while I'm here. So I'm very sorry. So I had to write this because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to look at y'all and talk about anything. So I had to write this down, and I like to just go to it if that's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think I flipped the page in the wrong direction. I'm sorry. And that will be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
You take your time. We're not in any hurry.
I'm very sorry. I think I might have to wing this then, because I think I've lost my first page. Okay, that's correct. Yeah, I think I've lost my first page somewhere.
We're not in any hurry. I mean,
I pretty much remember the first page. Just gathering my thoughts. From the minute that Brandon passed away, we weren't angry at anybody at the school, because 100% we know that kids get bullied, kids break up and go with different girls and boys, and this is all 100% part of being a kid. You know what I mean? We had no animosity towards the school. I had no animosity towards any other kids. We had no intentions at all whatsoever making a Facebook page. I don't like Facebook. I don't like social media very much. I think it fuels much worse than what it is giving to the children in the first place. I created the Facebook page mainly because my wife and I and my daughter were so very worried about the other little kids that my daughter and my son were attached to, and so, a lot of them we didn't know, and so it was more of, and I have a lot of family spread around the United States, and so it was more to put, and I don't have a Facebook page. My wife does, only through, because she has to for work to attach it, because she's a manager at a store. my daughter sort of suggested it, and then well, we don't have many friends, but one friend said, you should make a Facebook page, and all of his friends can go on there and post their pictures from their cameras and all stuff that you've never seen of Brandon in school and over their house. And Brandon probably has millions of pictures and videos on his camera of kids that we've never seen either. And it was intended to be a beautiful, wonderful sharing environment that I could monitor, because I'm all about monitoring everything that the kids do, especially on anything digital. That's what it was created for at first. It's very hard for me to say to you guys, I'm sorry. That's what it was created to at first. And then, so we got home from the hospital about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. We kind of just floated around all day on Thursday. My wife's friend found out about midnight while she was at work on Thursday night, and she came over to our house, because obviously we're up. She came over to our house, I think around midnight maybe, on Thursday night. And between midnight and about 2 o'clock in the morning is when she told me that you should make a Facebook page. So I had to tell you that small story to let you know that it was about roughly 2:30 Thursday morning, the day or so after this happened with my son, that I actually created this Facebook page. I had no friends except a few that my wife had on her Facebook, and then I just knew some names of my family that had Facebook. Then I knew 1 or 2 of Brandon's little friends that had a Facebook. I created the Facebook, and I only added a couple of my family members because we don't keep in touch with them so much. They're just out there. So they could know of the news and see pictures of Brandon and things like that. And then maybe 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning, that's when I called one of the parents and said, can I add your son, can I send him a friend request, if he has any pictures he wants to upload or anything he wants to say, one for, because this young man was just really I don't think he went to school. I don't think he's still back at school right now, but he's one of Brandon's very, very best for little friends, and he was really, really having a bad time. And she said that would be so wonderful, because it's coming from you guys, like pictures from you guys that he's never seen, like around the house and things like that. So I knew that maybe this was kind of a good idea for his little friends. That evolved within, I would say, probably 16 hours. That little friend shared it with his little friend, and you know how all that goes. And it turned into about 300 people by Friday night. From Thursday morning till about Friday night, maybe 300 to 400 people. Now I think there's 1,000 people on there. There's like 30,000 shares, YouTube videos now up. It has evolved into something far, far, far beyond any of that. And it is so helpful you're here, because I know you so good and I can look at you when I talk. I'm sorry to anybody else. I don't mean anything bad about that, but that's just helpful. And I'm sorry that now you're the focus of me. That he's evolved into so much more. I thought it was good, because very slowly some of the kids started adding as a friend John Sinclair. I named the page me, and because I didn't want it named after kids. I don't know why. I just put it as my name. It felt sort of dark to have Brandon's name on something, because he didn't create it. You know what I mean? So I put my name on it, and very quickly, probably mid Thursday afternoon towards Friday night, even with some of the kids that were at your high school, they were joining the friends list on there, and they were private messaging me. Saying, I'm sad. I can't believe this happened. I miss Brandon. I can't be in school right now, or I'm at home right now, and my mom and dad are here, or my mom and dad's not here. And very easily, this is what's so shocking to me, very easily, I was talking to them. Like, I know we're sad too. If you want to talk about Brandon, I thought maybe because we're his parents, it would be easy for them to say something, because a lot of them, that were really close to him, he only had a small circle of really close friends. They knew that we were fun, I guess, because we have a cool basement with a pool table, and we let them karaoke. I bought all that stuff just for the kids, so they go down there and karaoke, because we love hearing them sing and playing guitar and keyboard and everything, and it's just so fun. And so I thought maybe because we're cool that they would open up and feel a little better. So I said, if you want to talk to me or Laura, or if you want to privately talk to Mary, I feel so terrible about that. I divulged my daughter to the kids, and just volunteered her to be an open ear to kids when she was already grieving. But some of them said, I'd love to talk to Mary, and Mary would sit there, sometimes next to me, or sometimes she's like, I know this person, Daddy, it's okay, you can go. They won't do anything, they're just really sad, That, when I tell you evolution, I'm not talking the slow evolution we went through. I'm talking by hour evolution, to the point where 2 to 3 hours of sleep was no problem for me, because that's all I wanted to do is stay in front of Facebook. And I have no idea how to express this to you guys enough. Hundreds upon hundreds of people from your school system were texting us through Facebook. Hundreds, 30, 40 people every 10 minutes were connecting through friends. People were asking me to share things. By this time right now, well, I think I can start going on here. By this time, probably by Sunday night, it was kind of just sort of starting to mellow out a little bit, where it was an average of 5 to 10 people joining every couple of hours. It was maybe 5 or 10 people every hour sharing a story, but it still hasn't calmed down. Before I left this morning, there was 87 people wanting to join the friends list, and I had so many chat windows. I don't know if anybody knows anything about Facebook. I'm learning. The chat list of people that private message me goes so far up, there's no scroll. And my TV's in my basement, I connected my laptop to, and it's a 70-inch TV. So you can imagine the list going up a 70-inch TV of people's names, and all of them are trying to chat me. Some of them, Mary, my daughter, knows, oh, that's a kid, that's a 11th grader. I don't know who that is, but it's the last name of this person, so it's probably a parent or an aunt, an uncle, or an older brother that doesn't go to school anymore. A lot of them were asking us to post things without their names that they wanted to share to get it off their minds, to let others know to open up, to tell their stories, but still they were afraid to be known because they wanted us to take our names off of it. That's what it evolved into. They wanted us to put something on there because it started with kids just sharing, I knew Brandon, he was fun, he did this, or I remember this, and then it started evolving to this. Plus it was a little bit of an outlet for me on there there was a lot of people calling us, what happened, why did this happen? So I made my own post on there originally saying, this is what's happened, kind of like, please don't ask me again, kind of thing, and then at the same time, I have no idea why, because I hadn't really heard anything yet, I was compelled to say something to all the kids that, look what will happen, you'll leave your daddy in a basement crying. And that is what started everything, really. That's what really pushed everything, because that's when all the parents started calling us and saying, my son or my daughter has read this, and they came to us crying and showed it to us. We didn't even know they had a Facebook page, or we've created a Facebook page just to read that. It's so we know what our daughter or son has written. And they opened up to us and told us that they have had suicidal thoughts, or they cut themselves last year, or they were cutting themselves in 7th grade. And that is when I quickly knew that this might be a good thing. And then I started finding out about Brandon that first 2 days and realizing what the heck he was doing. So they're coming on, they're telling us that they were afraid to be known. Some were not, but really most of them were. Please understand that the numbers were well into the mass hundreds. Not 1 or 2 or 5 or 6. I personally responded and spoke to well over 600 people. Not 600 people that they said something to me, and I chatted them back repeatedly and spoke to them. They told me a story. They spoke up about, and these are people that are going to the school now or have went to the school. So I then began to dig into the history here, because this is going to get not good now, I'm sorry, but it's going to get not good now. I began to dig into the history of the school system, as well as the financial files that I could come up with, and into the school's policies and faculty. I was very shocked and very disheartened by many of these stories and the information I had. The Facebook page at this point was its own entity, and I felt it was what it was. It was becoming what it was. A place for the kids and their parents to speak their minds and let their hearts out. A place where this community, for some reason, has decided to choose to bring this into the light. Brandon had chose to bring this into the light. Brandon had stopped. Now this is incredible, and I had no idea about this. These parents, some of them even came to my house and sat on a couch in my basement crying with their child. And their child, I have no idea how. told us the story. Well, their parents, I mean, like, I have no idea how these kids, they're more brave than I ever even knew. I thought they were just a bunch of fun dummies. But, wow. Brandon had stopped 13 kids from committing suicide throughout his career in the school system, starting all the way in 6th grade. He actually talked to kids during 6th and 7th grade to not kill themselves. Like, one of them actually told me that he called Brandon and I, so many things are making sense that has happened that we put 2 and 2 together of things that have happened that we did not at all would ever understand what happened in that moment. You understand? I remember this girl, and I remember talking to her parents later, but Brandon all of a sudden came to us, because of course they didn't have cell phones in 6th grade, but Brandon came to us, I have to call my friend tonight. Will you please let me call her? This is her phone number. And I'm like, well, have you talked to her? Did you get her phone number from her parents? Is this her cell phone? We were just ridiculously covered with the kids, you know what I mean? So finally, I called the number, and the little girl answered the phone, and it was like 7:30, because he said he had to call her at 8 o'clock. That's when she has to go to bed. And so I called the little girl at 7:30. I'm like, I can't call at 8 o'clock. You know, I mean, they're in 6th grade. So I called, and the little girl answered and said, can I, this is Brandon's daddy. Can I talk to your mommy? And it was a grandmother. And the grandmother gets on the phone. I said, Brandon is just absolutely freaking out to talk to your granddaughter. And I want to know if it's okay. And she said, yeah, sure. Brandon gets on the phone, and they talk for like 20 or 30 minutes. And he wants to talk all quiet. Because it's a girl. He said, Dad, you can hear the stuff I say to girls. I could hear everything he was pretty much saying, but he kept on hiding in the bathroom, running and going around the corner. So I'm like, I'm sitting at the steps, because he's sitting at the top of the steps. And he's like, I'm going in the bathroom, Daddy. It's things like that. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I gave in to him. He's in the bathroom for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then he comes out. That little girl said that is the day, that's the only time he ever called her on the phone. She said she was going to go home, and she was going to use her papa's knife, and she was going to cut her hands all the way down until there was no more veins left in her hands, is what she told us. And now this girl, obviously, he's went to school with Brandon this whole time. Now this girl's a grown 15-year-old girl. And she's telling me that this is what she was telling my son on the phone. This is what she was telling him during school. Not exactly because of bullying either. I mean, this isn't all blamed on bullying whatsoever. I mean, it's part of it, but that is, I shared that with you. I didn't write that down here, but that is the type of horrific thing that Brandon has stopped 13 kids from committing suicide throughout his career in the school system, starting in 6th grade. These parents and their children told us. 4 other children and parents came out to us that he talked their child to stop self-harming themselves that early as well. A 14-year-old boy was doing what a degreed counselor's job should have been doing at the age of 11. I've heard of stories of rape going unhelped. Not 1, but 5 of these girls have come to us that these girls have come to this school system and were rejected, pushed aside, or blatantly called liars. Families that have actually tried to fight you as a school system for justice legally, spending mass amounts of money. They came to our house and showed us their lawyer bills. That they have actually legally tried to do something to the school, and they showed us their lawyer bills, how much it was costing them to do something to the school. And they lost, all of them. They came to our house and showed us these things. Your high school alone has sent me well over 400 stories of kids that have thought of or are now thinking suicidally and have reached out and gotten nothing, or will not reach out fearing backlash from the broken system they feel is here. This pattern I found goes back years. It is not the bullies It is not the bullies. It is not the home lives exactly of these kids. It is the school system. It is you and how you have handled them here in school. A place they should feel welcome and safe and protected. I have now received information from 13 current and former staff members who are ready to give their story publicly if needed about their experience in this school system, including SROs. So, just so you know, just including SROs that have worked here over the past 10 years. In this school system over the past 8 to 10 years, and every year they say it's getting worse. Your own staff knows what goes on behind the closed doors. They will not speak up. Most of the ones, obviously the ones that haven't spoke out to me. Again, I didn't ask anybody to speak out to me. I want you guys to know that. I didn't seek information. And I wish now, well, I can't say that either, so never mind. Your own staff knows what goes on behind the closed doors, and they are disgusted. I will not give you much fuel to protect yourselves. But I have staff that will swear under oath of sexual misbehaviors that were reported not only to the police, but to Mr. Walker as well. Swept away. SROs making bets on fights, talking openly about female students' bodies in a sexual way. Staff themselves being harassed and bullied by other staff, including past and present management. Video files being erased. Children clearly innocent on camera being charged anyway. Teachers very clearly that know that the staff knows are predatory sexually in nature being allowed to keep their jobs. This is only a small amount. Now, I mean small amount. Some of these people came together that have been with you guys for a while, or some that have quit, that said you won't even be able to begin to touch the tip of the iceberg. That they will go to a court and swear an oath of all these things, and they have dates, they have files possibly that they would turn over. It's terrible. Small amount of what I have found, and there are hundreds of stories to back it up, and many to offer statements on the record when needed. I'm here today on behalf of them. I'm sorry. I'm here today on behalf of them to give you a chance to keep some kind of dignity and try to change this. I ask you now to make a very public statement accepting responsibility for the lack this school has shown over the years. I ask you to make a public apology to the children, past and present. I ask that within 10 days, or however long you need, 30 days, of this here and now, you have a completely new plan ready to handle the minds and hearts of these kids, or to make sure their minds and hearts are taken care of immediately. If these things are not done, I, on record, John Edward St. Clair, father of Brandon St. Clair, living here in McMinnville, Tennessee, will use everything at my disposal, which is an immense army of well-educated, level-minded people like myself. I have already called every single news outlet, story, pull every single file, and will pull every single media outlet into your world. I will make sure it never goes away. I already have spoken to the governor's office, the mayor's office, and have made contact with our senator. I've already spoken to 4 different news coverage channels besides the one that I've already spoken to. I've already spoken to, I'm willing to end my privacy and any chance of a normal life in order to create change for these kids and get justice for those that have been gone. Your system, as it sits now, is corrupt. I know 100% egotistical and inhumane. I have proof beyond measure that you will ever be able to defend. And I tell you this because I know legal terms. I've looked up the legal terms and the legal statutes in the state. There is hundreds of people willing. Now, I've taken into account the drama of it, and I've minused about 50% of that away, and I'm still at hundreds of people ready to make a 100% statement on record in court to all of what they've said to me. I have proof beyond measure that many in the system and staff knows of all of these things. I have no fear of your legal team. I have no fear of the social, absolutely disgusting good old boy club that is I found here down in Tennessee. No fear of it whatsoever. I know 100% many people in the school system. I don't speak of it in a derogatory way either, because it's more of getting your cousin, your friend, your aunt, your uncle a good job, making sure they're protected in the job. It is blatant. Thousands of people have talked about it. Everybody in this room knows about it. I'm not stupid, and I know you all are not. I care not for that. There's nobody in this town that I fear. You guys can try to pass this along. I'm saying this completely not on here. I really am not in any fear of that whatsoever. There's nothing you guys could say. There's nothing the school system could do. There's no trickle-down effect from the police department. There's no trickle-down effect from this school, because my daughter will never come here again. unfortunately, because she loves you. She does. She loves you so much, Miss Rogers. There's nothing that I'm worried whatsoever from anybody that you guys pass this along to. Nobody from the sheriff's department. I'm sorry. The police do wonderful. Please don't think that. Okay. I'm not worried whatsoever. I have no need of money from you. I have no interest in suing you for Brandon. Brandon did what he did not because of bullying, not because of a heartbreak from a girl, and not only because he was surrounded with this school's immense depression problem, which I believe now is well over 60 to 70% of the children. I think he did it from the accumulation of these three things. He's been dealing with death surrounding him since 6th grade. People speaking of death, cutting themselves, not really any true backlash on bullying whatsoever from the school. Regardless of what you guys say, your anti-bullying ads you put up in there, I believe that's just your face. I think that's the face you're putting on. I have no faith in you whatsoever in that. As much as you guys say you're doing things, you can't be there. What maybe 50, 60 of you in this school system, in the high school, versus thousands of people that have went to this school over the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. There's no way you can fight that. There's no way you can deny what they are saying they experienced. Hundreds of people that graduated from the school have talked to me. Hundreds of kids that are currently going there have talked to me. From 9th grade that are 12th graders now have talked to me. They say that it has never changed. They feel it will never change, and they have no hope. They have no interest in speaking to any counselor. They have no interest in speaking to any leader of the school because they feel that nothing will be done. And if they did, they said the socialism aspect of it and their belief that the favoritism fact will come in so bad that it will just get worse for them. This is the stories that are happening at your school, that these kids are that scared to say something to you, that they believe that they will not be heard and nothing will be done because of the stories they've heard from the past. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm telling you guys this. This is why I'm not going to go away. So I have no fear of the Social Good Old Boy Club, and I will not be swayed from my decision to push this as far as humanly possible. And that's all I have. That was it. That was the end of my pages. I don't want an apology from you guys. I don't need I can't say that because it's not that I need your guys' condolences, which I do appreciate, I know. And I don't mean to be not heartful in that manner. But I do believe, and I do now believe, that your school system is deplorably flawed. I know that you guys try very hard, and I know that there's a lot of teachers there that try very hard, because I have talked to some of them, regarding Brandon. I know there's people in the middle school that have tried really hard, and I know that there's amazing teachers there. But on a whole, I think that you guys have let something slip by that I know your hands are tied on in a lot of ways. I know that too. And I think a lot of the parents know that too. But in a lot of other ways, I think you're understaffed, under budget, underpaid in some respects. And I think that a lot of things that should be very, very much more important to you on a continual basis, not just for a week, because we all know that in a week this is going to go away. You guys are going to pull bullying out for a good couple of weeks. You're going to make it at the forefront, and then it's going to go away. And that's on the Facebook page. I have hundreds of kids saying that because they've been there for 3 years. This is their 4th, and this is the way it is. And this is the way it was for the past 4 years by all the other parents that have graduated and went off and had their own babies, and unfortunately had to put their kids in the school system. I know you guys' hands are tied on a lot of stuff, but you guys need to know that I'm not going to go away. I have an endless supply of money, I have an endless supply of time, and I have an endless supply of patience. I'm not angry, I'm level-headed, and I'm educated. I'm not a ranting parent. I'm not going to go away. You guys are going to have to fix this somehow, because every single media outlet in this country will know what's happening in the school system. And if I can somehow put help to you guys and get you funding or get you more staff or get you more counselors and it works, then I'm going to go to the next school system. I'm going to go to the next state. I'll move my whole family every year and do the same thing. Or hopefully encourage other people to do that. So I'm not here for a vendetta against any of you. I really do swear that. I'm here because I didn't know that this was happening with my son. And my son killed himself. And I'm here to make sure that what he did is not martyred. It's not misconcepted. It's not confused with what contributed. I don't think it made him do it. I think it contributed as a whole. I think Brandon had so much death and depression and suicide around him, added with the severe bullying you guys have here, and you know this, combined with maybe a little heartbreak from a girl. And when you put all that together, you've got a kid who got himself caught up in a dark moment and just couldn't pull himself out of that, you know, which I understand him. I'm not mad at him at all. I understand him. And so I'm not angry at him. I'm not angry at anybody. I'm disappointed that we haven't paid attention to this. I'm disappointed that it's gotten this far. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Thank you guys. Thank you guys
Appreciate
for letting me talk to you.
being here, and again, you know, our condolences are with you and
I
your
don't want to
family.
record you.
And